So we're doing credit analysis models. In this credit risk exposures, we will be learning about the various terminologies here. Expected exposure is the amount of money which a bond investor in a credit risky bond stands to lose at a point in time before any recovery is factored in. The expected exposure is equal to the present value of the bond's remaining cash flows. A bond's expected exposure changes over time, and recovery rate is the amount of percentage recovered in the event of default. The recovery rate is the opposite of the loss severity. Given a loss severity of 40%, the recovery rate will be 60%. Loss given default is equal to the loss severity multiplied by the exposure. Probability of default is the likelihood of a default occurring in a given year. Hazard rate is conditional probability of default given that the default has not previously occurred. Probability of survival is 1 minus the cumulative probability of default. If we assume that a constant hazard rate, then probability of survival in the given time period can be calculated as 1 minus hazard rate the whole raised to the time period. From this, probability of survival decreases over time, and probability of default depends on the probability of survival from the prior period. So probability of default is hazard rate into the probability of survival. In the first year, the probability of default and the probability of survival hazard rate will be same because probability of survival will be 1. In subsequent years, the probability of default will be less than the hazard rate. Expected loss for any period is the loss given default for that period multiplied by the probability of default for that period. Credit valuation adjustment is the sum of the present value of the expected loss for each period. CVA is a monetary value of the credit risk in present value terms, and is actually a difference in the value between a risk-free bond and otherwise identical risky bond.